Yesterday we were hearing about Srila Bhakti Vichar Yayavar Gosvami Maharaj, but didn't yet complete. We heard that after getting Harinam and Mantra Diksha, Prabhupada engaged him as a pujari for the deities of Sri Chaitanya Mat, Sri Mayapur, Sri Sri Guru Gaurango, Gandharvika Giridhari. Srila Prabhupada also engaged him in studying Sanskrit grammar through Jiva Goswami's Harinamrita Vyakaran in the temple campus Sanskrit school. This is grammar of Sanskrit made by Jiva Goswami, and he named different dhatus like roots and those terms which are used for learning Sanskrit. He named them as gave some holy name, Janardhan or Hrishikesh or Madhusudan, like this. So when you learn Sanskrit through this grammar, you will also hear and chant Harina many times. So many became devotees through learning Sanskrit through this Jiva Goswami's method. This was also inspired by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sarveshwar Brahmachari focused on his study and puja without wasting any time on excessive sleep or useless gossip. Seeing Sarveshwar Brahmachari's inclinations and nature, Srila Prabhupada engaged him in various services in different temples, such as in Calcutta, Dhaka, Patna, Gaya, Kashi, Prayag, Kurukshetra, etc. Once, the Gauriya Math was invited to an international religious conference in Calcutta, and Srila Prabhupada chose Sarveshwar Brahmachari to present the philosophy of the Gauriya Math in that conference. Sarveshwar Brahmachari was not very educated in terms of material academics, and therefore felt so fearful to bear such a huge responsibility that he began crying. He felt unqualified to represent the Gauriya Math in that huge conference. He requested Srila Prabhupada's personal servant, Sripad Krishnananda Prabhu, to request Prabhupada to engage someone who was more educated to attend the conference, such as Srila Bhakti Rakakshidhar Goswami, Srila Bhakti Hridoy Bon Goswami, Sripad Atul Chandra Prabhu, later known as Goswami Maharaj, etc. As soon as Sripad Krishnananda Prabhu presented this message to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada said, "Why is he crying? There can be no change. He should follow whatever I have said." With eyes full of tears, Sarveshwar Brahmachari went to the conference. The next day, Srila Prabhupada was reading the newspaper, and the headline read, "Glories of the Gauriya Math." Sarveshwar Brahmachari had so brilliantly presented the teachings of the Gauriya Math. Srila Prabhupada called all of his disciples who were present and said, "Look, he was crying and felt unqualified, but now look at his qualification. Actually, we are all unqualified, but we become qualified when we receive the mercy of the Guru Parampara. We are not representing Mahaprabhu's mission by our academic degrees. It is actually Mahaprabhu's mercy which allows us to represent his mission." This year also I heard from our Srila Brihad Bharati Maharaj that once he was sent by our Gurudev to Sarbhog, Assam. And there was one disciple of Parangurudev there, who was the first disciple of Parangurudev, and he organized one meeting, like one social meeting, and different speakers also will be there. So at that time there was some fighting going on between Bengalis and Assamese. And the name of one of the speakers was also Brihad Maharaj. That time he was brahmachari, he was new. But Gurudev sent him there to go. Then the president of that assembly, he told to Brihad Maharaj, you cannot speak in Bengali here because of that tensions. Then Maharaj said, I was afraid, I was perspiring and my voice was choked and I didn't know what to do because I cannot speak Assamese language. If I speak in English, they will not understand. Bengali, I cannot speak. If I speak in Hindi, also they will not understand. So what to do? Then suddenly this idea came to his mind. Okay, then I can speak in Sanskrit, because Sanskrit is the mother of all languages. So maybe something everyone can understand something. Then he was doing his prayers in Sanskrit, all that Bandeham, all this. And he started speaking in Sanskrit for some time. Then that president said, you are speaking in Sanskrit. We cannot understand much. Little we understand, but we can feel you are speaking something very good. So you go on speaking in Bengali. They allowed him. Then he spoke and everyone were happy. And then later, Brihad Bharati Maharaj told me, I approached Gurudev like a child. His father, I am like a child. And I complained to Gurudev, you are a sadhu. Why you are doing this? You are putting me in trouble. Sadhu should not do this. I had to go there and this happened. In other, like some government, if there is some function like this, they will first train those who will participate in the functions. They will give them education, orientation, all this. They will train them and then they will do. But I got no training. Just I was put there. Then Guru said, yes, because they need training because they are not surrendered souls. They need much training, and that is also all of material thing, material qualification. But we are surrendered souls. We just have to obey the order of Guru or pure devotee, whatever they say, surrender, and then they will give whatever is necessary for us to serve. That is our practice, to surrender. Then everything is fine. Also, I heard from Gurudev in Dhaka, also here, Dhaka in Bangladesh, during the time of Prabhupada, some Gauriya Math preachers, they used to speak some Harikatha in one university there, and students, they would hear. Then one day, someone from the management of that university, he said, why you are inviting these Gauriya Math sadhus? They don't know Sanskrit properly. Better you invite some Sanskrit scholars. Then they invited some Sanskrit scholars and they were speaking something from Shastra. But then students, they complained. They said, why you changed? We like to hear those speakers, Gauriya Math speakers. Yes, this one, they are nicely pronouncing Sanskrit and very correctly grammar and nice, everything is, that is okay. But there is no life in it. no life. We don't like to hear this. It's lifeless. We want to hear Gauriya Mat devotees, that Harikatha. So again they had to change. Because if someone is surrendered soul, devotee, then Krishna will descend there. And Krishna is all blissful, so everyone will feel, even if they don't understand, or even if that is not proper language or proper grammar like this, but the transcendental feeling will come. It will not come by just scholarship. Or like Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj, when he was in Punjab, he was singing different Bengali songs, Sanskrit songs in the program. Then someone said, why you put him to sing? Here they cannot understand these songs. Then they engaged another one, Hindi singer, and he was singing nicely, but again, audience complained, why you changed? We want to hear Babaji Maharaj. Yes, we cannot understand everything what he's singing, Bengali or Sanskrit, but there we feel very good hearing him. We are very happy hearing him. So this is the difference. Surrendered soul, devotee, or not. So surrendered soul, everything will be fine and he will get all what is necessary for the service of Krishna qualification just through Sharanagati, surrender. Here also it happened. He thought, I'm not very educated, how I will speak there at a big assembly and scholars like this. But Prabhupada said, no, you will have to go. So he surrendered and got all grace and he presented that. Actually, it is actually Mahaprabhu's mercy which allows us to represent his mission. And mercy will descend to surrendered soul. Once Sarveshwar Das Brahmachari went to Dhaka, Bangladesh with Srila Prabhupada. That time it was all India still. A miraculous incident took place. There was a landlord who was by nature completely atheistic. If people did not follow what he liked, he would punish them by physically beating them. When Srila Prabhupada reached that place, the local people informed Srila Prabhupada about him. Srila Prabhupada sent Sarveshwar Brahmachari to the house of the landlord to beg alms. But the wife of the landlord very roughly rejected Sarveshwar Brahmachari. This incident recurred over several days. Then one day, the wife of the landlord gave Sarveshwar Brahmachari some uncooked rice. He took that rice back to the temple. The next day he cooked it in the temple and brought the prasadam of the cooked rice along with other preparations back to the landlord's house. A while after this incident, the atheistic landlord's family all became disciples of Srila Prabhupada. This incident illustrates the power of Mahaprasad and Sukriti obtained from serving Vaishnavas, even if it is unwillingly or unknowingly. If your energy is spent for the service of Krishna and Vaishnavas, that will work always. And then when that is accumulated, then you will be able to develop faith in Krishna and in Vaishnavas, and you will become inclined to serve Krishna. So Prabhupada's arrangement was also, I heard from Srila Sridhar Maharaj's recording, in what way Prabhupada was arranging for Sukriti of many people. Like when you are preaching, not all will immediately accept just hearing Harikatha or Harinam, Nagar Sankirtan to become devotees because of lack of Sukriti. Some will, but some will not. So, but he also arranged how people can get Sukriti. Also, Sai Maharaj did like this. Then in future, someday they will be able to come. So this is also a part of preaching, to help people get Sukriti, like giving them prasad or selling book or different ways to beg them, you please give something for the service of the temple in this way. In 1935, or request them to follow Ekadashi, because Ekadashi is not only for devotees, it is for all people. It is stated in Shastra. Like sometimes we may think, oh, he is not initiated devotee, so it is not necessary for him. It is for devotee. No. Ekadashi following is beneficial for all and necessary, because otherwise sins you accumulate. So everyone you can encourage for Ekadashi. That is why that book also is written there, to attract people to follow Ekadashi. They are not devotees, but there it is written, if you will follow this Ekadashi, then you will destroy these sins and you will get this, so they will be inclined. So by following Ekadashi, they will get much Sukriti. In 1935, the Gauriya Mat in Gaya was facing problems as the local people refused to cooperate with the temple. Srila Prabhupada sent Sarveshwar Prabhu to Gaya, and due to the influence of his purity and character, the entire atmosphere transformed, and all of the local residents became inspired to cooperate with the temple again. While Sarveshwar Das Brahmachari was in Bagbazar Gauriya Mat, he once met with his relatives. This was 12 years after he had taken up renounced life, staying at the Gauriya Mat. He brought his relatives to meet Srila Prabhupada. Thereafter, Srila Prabhupada told Sarveshwar Das Brahmachari to return with his relatives and preach in their home. In 1936, during a spiritual meeting, Navadipdham Pracharini Sabha, conducted at the Jogapith Temple, Mayapur, in the presence of Srila Prabhupada, Sarveshwar Prabhu sweetly chanted Kirtan and gave discourses with attractive Vaishnava language. Thereafter, Srila Prabhupada gave him the title Ragaratna, jewel of spontaneous loving devotion, and gave him the Bhakti Shastri certificate. Thus he was known as Ragaratna Sarveshwar Brahmachari Bhakti Shastri. Krishna mantra hoite hobe sangsar mochon. Krishna nam hoite pabe Krishna rocharan. Through chanting the Krishna mantra, one gets released from all material attachments. By chanting the holy name of Krishna, one attains the divine lotus feet of Krishna. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. This verse always resounded within Sarveshwar Brahmachari's ears. One must perform the spiritual practice of chanting the mantra, or there will be destruction of the body. A lion cannot think that a deer will automatically enter into its mouth if it is sleeping and not actively hunting. Nahi suptasya singhasya pravishanti mukha mriga. Thus he would lovingly chant the Maha Mantra with great enthusiasm, chanting at least 100,000 names of Krishna 64 rounds every day. This practice of chanting 64 rounds started when he joined the Gauriya Mat as a brahmachari and never stopped, even when he was physically ill. our Gurudev told that he also saw him chanting in that Shyamananda Gauriya Math. When Gurudev first joined the Math, then he was staying in that place. There he saw Yayavar Goswami Maharaj doing Kirtan, Nagar Sankirtan, then giving Harikatha, Bhagavat very nicely, and also chanting a lot, sitting on chair, long time chanting, because he was chanting all the time, 64 rounds. This Krishna mantra hoite hobe sangsar mochon, Krishna naam hoite pabe Krishna rocharan. This is explained in two ways, this verse. One way is by chanting Krishna mantra, that is also known as Gopal mantra. Sometimes in Shastra you will find Gopal mantra, sometimes Krishna mantra. That is one of the Diksha mantras, along with Kama Gayatri. So by chanting, Prabhupada explained in commentary, Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur, that one will get liberation from this material world, all attachments, and will get attachment to Krishna. And by chanting Harinam, invocative case, calling Krishna, that is Mahamantra, one will attain the lotus feet of Krishna, means in Vrindavan. That is Ragamarg. You will find in Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, our Gurudev told us to read that book. There you will find Gopakumar, even before that, one Brahmin in Assam, that Gohati. He got Krishna mantra from Devi, Kamakya Devi. This year I wanted to take her darshan, but there was no time. And it is long queue also, I heard. If you come in the morning at 6 a.m., then you have to buy that ticket, and then after 4 or 5 hours, you can get darshan. And if you take VIP ticket, that is 501 rupee, then you will get in about 1.5 or 2 hours. You get darshan. But I wanted to visit at Kamakya Devi because the parents of our Gurudev, they prayed to her. Before they had daughters only, but after that they prayed to this Kamakya Devi, we want to have one male child. So after that our Gurudev appeared in this world by her blessing, and the parents, they gave him name Kamakya Charan, the feet of Kamakya. Of course, Gurudev is personal associate of Radha Krishna. He appeared not by karma or anything like that, sent by Radharani, but in this lila, because Kamakya is also Jogamaya. Devi is Jogamaya in Vrindavan. She has two aspects. So by Jogamaya, Gurudev appeared. And also here we find in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, one Brahmin, he was worshipping this Devi to get money. He was sincere. Then one day, Kamakya appeared in his dream and gave him Krishna mantra, Gopal mantra. And at first he was not sure whether this is true or it is my imagination. Then he had doubt. Then again Devi appeared to him in dream and said, no, it is not false. Really, I am giving you this mantra, you chant. She did not say any meaning or nothing. Only you chant. Means mentally you repeat that. Then he was repeating, and then one day he got some peace inside his heart, some different kind of peace. At that time, he lost desire for getting money and was also interested to know more about this spiritual thing, what is going on. So he went to different sadhus he met. Meeting, then ultimately he came to Vrindavan, and there he met Gopakumar. One Brajavasi, Gopakumar, and he surrendered to him. Then then this Brahmin said, I got this mantra from Devi, but I don't know the meaning. I'm chanting it and I came here. Then Gopakumar told him, yes, it also happened to me similarly. I met my Gurudev and he gave me mantra. He did not explain any meaning or nothing. And then soon after that he disappeared, my Guru. I could never see him again. But I was chanting that mantra. Then these things started to happen in my life. Then he explained how he was going through different transcendental realms, what he experienced. And that Brahmin was listening. So then ultimately, at the end, this Gopakumar told him that today morning, Radharani told me that there is one my devotee coming from Assam. So he's coming here to Vrindavan. So you go and you help him. You encourage him, you help him, you bring him to Vrindavan. So this is how. So there you will find when Gopakumar was chanting this Krishna mantra or Gopal mantra, he crossed so many realms, also Vaikuntha everywhere. Then he came to when in Vaikuntha he was not feeling, at first he was feeling fully happy, but after some time some lack he felt and he could not understand why. Then Narad told him, there is some superior realm also, Vrindavan, but there you cannot enter with this mantra. There you can enter with Nama Sankirtan. Because mantra is in dative case and open reverence, so it will liberate you and put you in that transcendental realm, but forgetting Krishna Prema. There is no Aishwarya Bhav, only Madhurja Bhav. So Mahamantra or some Nama Sankirtan he gave him there, that is in vocative case. You are calling Krishna in relationship. So this verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita can be Acharyas, they have explained in two ways. By chanting Krishna mantra, the Diksha mantra, you will be liberated from all material attachments and get attachment to Krishna. Then by Harinam Mahamantra, you will attain the lotus seat of Krishna in Vrindavan. Prema you will get. And another explanation is that Krishna mantra can mean also Mahamantra. If you chant Mahamantra, Krishna mantra, then you will be liberated from this material existence and you will also attain the lotus seat of Krishna. Both. These two ways Acharyas explained. So I wanted to take darshan of Kamakya, but it was not possible this year. Maybe some other time. But we can pray from distance also, her grace. But because she's related to Gurudev and also related to the appearance of Gurudev, and also in this Brihad Bhagavatamrita, I had this desire to take darshan. To pray to her for Krishna Bhakti. She can give. But I got darshan of Praudamaya Devi in Mayapur, that old Maya, under a tree she is staying. She is Yogamaya. She can give devotion to Krishna. Sarveshwar Brahmachari also sang the kirtans of previous Gauriya Vaishnava Acharyas and worshipped and served the deities of the Lord. He served his god brothers with extreme dedication and sincerity. Srila Prabhupada was extremely pleased with Sarveshwar Brahmachari's mood. Srila Prabhupada loved listening to the kirtans that he would sing so sweetly. In 1936, Srila Prabhupada gave him the spiritual title Sarveshwarananda Ragaratna, the jewel of musical melodies who gives bliss to the Lord of one and all. Raga also means melody, tune, certain raga. They have different names. This raga, that raga. So Ragaratnam, also jewel of ragas. I heard from Srila Bhakti Rakshidhar Goswami Maharaj's recording that he used to sing the Chirupa Manjari Pada to Prabhupada in last Kartik Brata in Puri, 1936. And also, he was the first whom Prabhupada ordered to sing Ashtakali and Lila Kirtans. Sarveshwar Brahmachari served as Mat Rakshak in a management capacity, that is in charge, at 4 mats in Patna, Prayag, Kashi and Gaya. He preached the spiritual philosophical conclusions of Sri Sri Guru and Gaurango by reading from scriptures, singing kirtans and giving discourses. He studied Harinam Mrita Vyakaran, this Sanskrit grammar book in which all the technical terms in the sutras are names of Krishna or his associates. I told before that. Jiva Goswami made this. And many spiritual scriptures. While he was the Mat Rakshak at Gaya, many scholars saw Sarveshwar Brahmachari's expertise and became attracted, thereby receiving mercy and gaining the shelter of Srila Prabhupada's divine lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada became extremely pleased with Sarveshwar Brahmachari and on his own decided to grant Sarveshwar Brahmachari sannyas, renounced order. Srila Prabhupada called him to Purushottam Mat, located in Chatak Parvat, Jagannath Puri, during the Ratha Yatra festival and gave him sannyas initiation at the mere age of 27. He received the name Srila Bhakti Vichar Yayavar Goswami Maharaj, and he was the last person to whom Srila Prabhupada gave sannyas. Here also, from other biographies, we can know that he was afraid when Prabhupada told him, "You will have to take sannyas." Then he became afraid and he told to another one, his god brother, that I am afraid because it is true I have no desire to get married now, but it is there in my hand. In this line is marriage line here. It is there in my hand that I will get married. And he also told about another example. Someone took sannyas from Prabhupada and later he got married. So I don't want to, like, same thing, I will take sannyas and then married. So he became afraid because it was in his karma. As also we heard from our Padmana Maharaj, the point is now you may not feel desire, but according to your karma, in a certain period that will fructify, because now it is sleeping, that seed. What you did in your past lives, results you will get at certain time in your life, not all at the same time. So suddenly, or in certain period, that will come. It will sprout. That you can see in horoscope. If someone can read properly, or in hand also, you can see how the things will go. What results you will get according to your past karma. So he was afraid. Then he wanted to say to Prabhupada, through that god brother. Then Prabhupada said, no, why he is afraid? If someone is going towards Abhay Charanarabinda Bhagavan, one whose lotus feet bestow fearlessness, Abhay Charan. Abhay means fearless. Abhay Charan Aravinda. That how is it possible to have fear if you go towards Supreme Lord? Prabhupada again said, no, he has to take sannyas. Then he surrendered. And then later on, after taking sannyas after some time, that line also here on his hand, which showed that he will get married, that also vanished, gone, deleted. Because change by the grace of pure devotee and pure devotion, it is possible. But one has to surrender. Then this can happen. He was the last one to get sannyas from Prabhupada. And he gave sannyas to Srila Bhakti Kumud Shanta Gosai Maharaj later on. And others also. Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj was not only an excellent kirtan singer, he possessed all the qualities of a Vaishnava. By the grace of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj was well versed in all facets of Vaishnava philosophy and used to disseminate these teachings in simple and eloquent language using Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita as a basis. In the Conference of World Religions at Rangoon, currently known as Yangon in Myanmar, he presented the inner meaning of the science of consciousness from the Vedas in an understandable way and attracted the minds of everyone there. Because consciousness means transcendental. It is not body and mind. Transcendental consciousness is pure consciousness on transcendental platform. That is the teaching of the Vedas. Then, if you go more deep, then you will find Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. There is one supreme conscious being and one supreme eternal being among many conscious, many eternals. And he is fulfilling the desires of those. You will find this oneness and difference in conscious world. Supreme Lord and Jiva, they are both conscious beings eternal. And they have eternal relation also. But in general, first, one has to learn that something is matter, unconscious, asat, or acheton. Something is sat, and cheton, sat, chit, ananda. First, you have to realize this difference. The professors of Varanasi University did not accept Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the source of avatari. Then Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj wrote a book called Avatar Samikha, explaining the avatars of the Supreme Lord and sent it to the university through his disciple who was a scholar. In this way, he liberated the university professors from the concept of impersonalism and established pure devotion. In 1937, after Srila Prabhupada's physical departure, Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj's peaceful, sweet and simple nature kept him away from conflict and inspired him to establish a temple named Shyamananda Gauriya Math, along with like-minded god brothers in Medinipur. Thereafter, he established several other mats. Previously, he had also established a temple in Mayapur named Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat Math, as well as a temple in Jagannath Puri. This Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat Math is next to our mat. We are neighbors. Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj's life was filled with miracles. Once he, along with his disciples, went to the home of one of his sannyasi disciples for preaching. When Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj reached that home with his disciples, a snake had bitten one of their neighbors. Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj, along with his disciples, went to that house and read the pastimes of Lord Krishna subduing the Kaliya snake, and from Srimad Bhagavatam. After hearing Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj's recitation of the Kaliya Daman pastimes, the neighbor that was bitten by the snake was miraculously cured, got up and offered his obeisance to Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj. It is possible. Nothing is impossible for Krishna. Kaliya means cruel, poisonous snake. So Krishna can subdue that. He subdued that Kaliya. He can do. But again, if someone is completely surrendered, then Krishna will descend there, and this effect can be there. For a long time, until the age of 78, Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj performed many transcendental pastimes in the material world. On the morning of the anniversary day of Srila Narottam Das Thakur's disappearance, Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj was severely ill, but he was completely calm, quiet and conscious. All of the disciples surrounding him were chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj was also chanting with his soft voice. That evening, Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj physically departed from this world from Shyamananda Gauriya Math in Mednipur. The date was 15th October 1984 at 5:30 p.m. He departed in the presence of his disciples and his appointed successor, Srila Bhakti Vichar Vishnu Gosai Maharaj. This year, when I was in Mayapur, we observed, now I forgot, I think it was appearance of Srila Bhakti Vichar Vishnu Gosai Maharaj, his successor. His Samadhi Mandir is also there, next to our mat. Next to Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj, and two of his disciples are now staying in our mat, one sannyasi and one brahmachari, and they were speaking his glories. Also there I was hearing also so many glories. I did not know about this Maharaj, but I heard so nice how pure devotees they are doing bhajan, their realizations, everything. And with that brahmachari, his disciple, we used to do kirtan in the evening after arati. He's a very nice singer. During the disappearance pastime, Srila Bhakti Vichar Vishnu Gosai Maharaj saw in his divine vision a beautiful transcendental chariot in which Sri Radha Krishna were seated on a beautiful throne. Two Sakis appeared from that chariot in front of Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj, and they said, "This is our Malati Manjari." And they took him to the spiritual world. Because we see in the case of Dhruva, those Vishnu Dutas, they came to take him in chariot. Because that is in Aishwarya Bhav. And also Ajamil, he was taken by Vishnu Dutas after doing bhajan in Haridwar. He was taken in chariot. But if someone is in Ragamarg, his destination is Vrindavan, then Sakis will come, Radha Krishna with the Saki. After his physical departure, his disciples decided to take Srila Yayavar Gosai Maharaj's holy transcendental body to Sri Mayapur Dham, and he was placed in Samadhi at his Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat Mandir. And this Vishnu Maharaj, his successor. His name is Mani Manjari in Guru Vrindavan. Srila Yayavar Goswami Maharaj's entire spiritual life teaches us to keep sound faith in the words of the spiritual master and the authentic scriptures. Eventually, the eternal truth will be revealed in our hearts. There is no other way. You cannot attain eternal truth or absolute truth by means of non-eternal senses. It is impossible. And by non-eternal mind, intellect, all this, impossible. Only when you surrender to eternal truth, appearing in this world in the form of sound through the mouth of pure devotees and also in the form of Shastra, and also pure devotees, they are transcendental. They are revealing Krishna in this world. And Tulsi, Ganga, Bhagavatam, Prasad, all these divine substances. That is a revelation of Krishna. So someone who will submit, then that eternal truth can be revealed in your heart, manifested. And on that eternal transcendental platform, when the truth will reveal by her own will to a surrendered soul, then like in a mirror, you can also see yourself, your eternal transcendental self in that realm, real identity. That is the only way. Like that, one devotee came to our Gurudev and said, you tell me my Swarup, my Siddha Deha, my Manjari, all this you tell me. Then Guru said, that is not intellectual knowledge, some material intellectual knowledge or some information like this. No, when you surrender to Krishna, then you will realize who you are, who others are. Then still he was pressing Gurudev to tell him. Then Gurudev again looked in his eyes and said, when you will want that, you will get it. What is that? That is seva. When you will want that seva form, then you will get it. But the point is, we are not wanting seva. We want some information for the sake of our curiosity or for the sake of thinking, yes, I am now Manjari, or I have it and you don't have it, like this. But we are not interested in seva. So how we can get the real thing? We can get imagination thing, not real thing. Real thing is your seva body, or body for the seva. So one who will surrender, one who will become inclined to Krishna, then in that transcendental realm where Krishna is revealing himself, also you will see yourself, realize yourself. What is your seva, everything. So because Gurudev is a realized soul, he could make that person understand that now you are not wanting that real thing. You want something else. When you will want the real thing, you will get it. Then that devotee understood by the grace of Gurudev, because realized soul is a real Manjari coming from Golok Vrindavan, not imaginary thinking, but real. So he can explain this to others. What is real, what is not real. Srila Yayavar Goswami, yes. So, Srila Yayavar Goswami Maharaj's entire spiritual life teaches us to keep sound faith in the words of the spiritual master and the authentic scriptures, because through them, Krishna reveals himself. Yesterday we sang that song, Krishna se tomar, Krishna dite paro. O Vaishnava Thakur, Krishna is yours, you can give him. Because Vaishnava is always situated on transcendental platform. he's always in contact with Krishna, actual, real Krishna, transcendental. So what he will speak, that Vaishnava, that is Krishna. Transcendental Krishna will come to us. That Vaishnava, because he has Krishna and also subduing Krishna by his devotion, he can give Krishna Nam, he can tell about Krishna's form, he can give Shastra, all this actual truth, revealed truth, he can give that Vaishnava. Because he has. That is why it is so important to come in touch, come in contact with a realized Vaishnava, a real Vaishnava. Then we can have actual contact with real Krishna Nam, Harikatha, all this. That will be transcendental, spiritual. That will have effect on our Atma. Eventually, the eternal truth will be revealed in our hearts. If we have that faith in Guru and Shastra and follow their instruction, then this will happen. There is no need to depend upon academic degrees. No. Or learning that, no. Surrender is what is important. We just need the blessings of the Parampara in order to reach our ultimate destination, Sri Golok Vrindavan. Blessing? Oh, I did not get blessing. It is not like that. Blessing is there for all, from their side. But we are not surrendered. That is why it is not descending to us. Because Kripa is Nimnaga. It is always going down. Like water is always going down, Kripa is always going down to a surrendered soul. One who will surrender, submit, follow, he will get blessing that will take him to Golok Vrindavan. We have to learn this Sharanagati from one who is Sharanagata. There is no other way, not possible by your own effort or by the help of other unsurrendered soul or by just reading. No, practically you have to surrender as per the guidance of surrendered soul. Srila Prabhupada said that Bhakti Vichar Yayavar Maharaj is an embodiment of Mahaprabhu's service mission. So yesterday it came that Dvadashi and Tritiya, means Dvitiya and Tritiya on same day. So yesterday we observed his appearance day. I am again remembering his Samadhi Mandir in Mayapur. I also took video and photo of him, that his Vigraha, I am remembering his form, bowing down to his lotus feet and praying for his causeless mercy, for pure devotion to Krishna and his devotees. Tomorrow we'll further share.